you guys. Now, I'm a PC girl. For those of you who are PC, I'm talking directly to you. But when I talk about what you can do with your PC and what you can do with some of the Microsoft apps, I know that even if you are an Apple user or a Mac user, a lot of times you still have access to these apps as well. So make sure you're taking advantage of them. I'm going to go right on over to my Word document. And you know how when we have sometimes we just have so many thoughts in our heads. Sometimes we have ideas that just one after the other. And or sometimes we're actually doing what I do a lot of times. I'm multitasking. And wouldn't it be great to know while I'm doing something else that may be necessary? Maybe with me, I maybe have a grandbaby in one arm, or maybe I'm cooking, or maybe I'm working on something particular, but I still need to be able to maybe work on delivering a message, an email, or a letter, or just my thoughts. And here's my tip for today, guys. In Microsoft Word, all you have to do is hit the Windows key. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Windows key, if you're on a PC, is at the bottom of the screen on the left, and it looks like 4 little windows. That is the Windows key. And that key controls a lot of things. But tonight we're going to talk specifically about using that key and holding it down and hitting the H. Now, what happened when I hit that, if you guys can see this, all of a sudden now it goes into listening mode. And now it's going to just write down everything I say. So I can say comma, I can say, delete, I can say exclamation point, I can say whatever I need to say. It's going to write down what I say. Next paragraph, whatever I say, it's going to do, right? You see where it went to the next paragraph, right? This has saved me so much time over the years. So I'm going to be popping back on the road, but I want you guys to practice this. Use this. You can even use it. Say that you want to work on an email. You can go or just jump over into Word. Maybe you just voice the email. You can copy it from there right into your whatever your email, the email that you use, right? And you can stop it and start it. If you can see my screen, it's stopped. All I have to hit is hit the little microphone to initialize it again. And in a minute, it's just going to start picking up my words again. Right? My internet is acting a little weird, but I love this, right? So I wanted to share that with you guys. I really hope that you use that. And next week, I'll be coming back. I have a little bit more time, and I'm going to share with you guys some other things that you can do in Windows that make life a whole lot easier. Now, I get to turn it over to my partner. I get a chance to turn it over to, I call her niece. But more than that, I also call her coach because she has helped me in so many ways. As someone who's of the boomer generation, sometimes just trying to deal with the social media can be a wee bit challenging. No, it makes you want to pull your hair out of your head. But I have her at all times. And again, willing to pour in, willing to give, willing to do so much. And she's smart as a whip. The boomers don't understand what that is, okay? So I'm going to turn it over to your millennial coach, my niece, my coach, Miss Ariel Simone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was epic for me because I actually hopped on with my friend recently. We went on to Microsoft Teams so that I could dictate and it could transcribe what I was saying. And essentially I was developing one of my courses, and people pay for Microsoft Teams in order to be able to have transcription. People pay for services in order to do that, Coach Larry. So I'm appreciative of you showing me that because that's game changer. So family, I'm excited. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I know that today we are going over really quickly, just posting ideas. How many of us drop a 7 in the chat. Drop a 7 in the chat if we are always thinking, okay, what content on social media could I even, maybe post to get engagement from my audience, to know what they're looking to maybe accomplish. Maybe I want to ask them some questions so that I could put them into my funnel, into the pipeline, into the process of, being able to maybe get on that one-on-one call, maybe enroll them in my services. And so family, that's what I want to help us with today. So I see Jim said 7. I see some 7s. I see 7s all around. Good stuff. Some of us were at an event where I recently discussed different, ways to be able to handle social media. And this was at a breakout session, a training that I did over in Oklahoma City. But what I want to do is actually walk us through step by step, so that you can, of course, see them, understand them, and of course, we'll be able to answer some questions. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Boom. Can you guys see that? Give me a thumbs up. Give me some thumbs up if we can see it. All right, good. 10 post ideas for you. So we're going to go through this, and I'm really going to explain why these are so powerful, okay? Because I want to make sure that we leverage these different posting ideas, and you don't do them all at once. But you can, if you really nail these posting ideas, you can rotate this, okay? And you can rotate this in preview or in later, write preview down, write later down, write Planoly down, so that you guys can know that these are different programs that you can opt into to plan your content. Preview, later, Planoly, okay? Those are just 3 out of the cajillion people have. But what good to put in there, right? So we're going to talk about that probably next week. I want it first so that you guys could opt in. And everybody, if you want professional grade content that, looks clean, looks professional, use Canva, get a free account, okay, of Canva, and you guys can go on there. I see Tina saying, yep. And family, I heard this was a good looking group, but if you guys show your faces, I could take cues to see if standing. You're so beautiful. Hey, girl. Hey. All right. So the first thing is your personal story. Stop sharing because my internet is crazy right now. But and if you guys can't hear me, let me know. But the first thing is your personal story. Right? Why is your personal story so important? People do not buy from people who they do not know, like, and trust. Your personal story, I wanted to do a couple of things. The first thing I wanted to do is I want you to be able to relate with your audience through your personal story, okay? The second thing that I really want you to do in your personal story, and this will make sense in the Business Autopilot Summit because I'm going to show you how to do this. But the second thing is I want you to make your prospect, the person that you want to buy from you, I want you to make them the hero. Write that down, the hero's journey, okay? They have to be the hero. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that with your content. But when you're sharing your personal story, this allows people to connect with you. So a lot of people go, hey, before, because of, and then, but that's not what I want. That's not the only transition that I want within your personal story. I want you to be able to tell them the why. I want you to be able to tell them your mission. I want you to be able to tell them why you're choosing to share it with them. Write that down for me, family. Your why, your mission, and why you're choosing to share it with them. That adds another layer because it doesn't make it about you. None of your posts on social media are about you. Drop a 2 in the chat if that makes sense. Drop a 2 because I want to make sure that this isn't just like, oh, okay, yeah, I've seen this before. You haven't. Because if you have, you would have been doing it. Because once you recognize how genius it is to be able to share your story, guys, you would be doing it at least once a week. Once a week, at least once a week. And it doesn't have to be the same format. It doesn't have to just be through a standstill post. It could be through a post. It could be through a reel. It could be on live. You should be so sick and tired of sharing your personal story. But guess what? It's not for the people that have met you already. It's for the new people that are what? Finding you. You're always looking for people to find you on social media, okay? And we're going to talk about call to actions. We're going to talk about things that make people want to share your content. Anytime that I post a reel, family, my reels are getting shared dozens of times because it's shareable content. And that's what we're going to talk about too. But during BAPS, too, a customer testimonial. People don't just want to hear from you. It's nice that you think your stuff is hot, but guess what? Other people need to think your stuff is hot, right? Family, we all come from different industries here, right? We're not just one industry here during Business Autopilot Summit. So we need people to validate. Third-party validation is the absolute best. Guess what? Coach HB could say, I'm the best there is, which he is. Okay, he is. But guess what? When Ariel says Coach HB the best, everybody goes, word. You know what? It's crazy because I heard it from Jen too. I heard it from Allison. I heard it from Coach Larry. Wow. Because we're looking not just to tell our audience, hey, I believe in me. We're looking to tell our audience we have raving fans. Write that down. You're not trying to become an influencer or have followers, family. You want to get to the top of the mountain, and the top of the mountain is to have raving fans. Raving fans. All right. The third, a benefit post. This one is important because this makes you an expert. Oh, I want my internet to work with me so bad because I want you guys to see my face. When you become an expert, when you become an instant authority in your space, it doesn't matter what you provide. People will follow you because they trust you. And they're going to trust you because you're telling them information they've never heard before. Give me some thumbs up. And it doesn't have to be rocket science. It doesn't have to be genius. It just makes sure that your people know, wow, I'm getting fed here. I'm getting fed. And these are the benefits that this product or this service offers. So the more that you tell them about the benefits, and not just what the service does, but how it's going to benefit them, their family, their legacy, their community. I want you to think of, I call it a web. Okay. So it's not just about them. A lot of people don't operate just for them. Do you know that mothers will do more they'll do more in that moment because their child needs it than they'll do for themselves, right? I remember my mother used to tell me, she's like, listen, I can sleep under a bridge. I don't believe that. But she's like, I can sleep under a bridge. We have this roof over our house because you need this, right? And I remember that. We'll do more for the people we love than we'll do for ourselves, okay? So I want you to think not just benefits is what is going to help them, but what's going to help their circle, their tribe, their family, their legacy, okay? A personal development story. People need to know that you're one step ahead of them. Put one step, just one person you're teaching, just one step. And when people see that you're working on you and you're growing you, even if they're not ready to do it themselves, guess what? They start to. How many of us, drop a 7 in the chat if we want people betting on us? It's unstable again. It's okay, but we want people to bet on us, right? And so that's what that personal development story is going to do. And this could come from the books you read. I go live, and I don't go live and think, oh my goodness, what am I going to go live about? We have a book club that we do every morning, and I just pull something from the book club. It's not torture. Don't we read our 10 pages a day? Look, some of us are like, I'm supposed to. but if you read your 10 pages a day, you have something to share every day. If you don't do it for you, do it for the content. Do it for the content, okay? All right. Answer questions. Again, making you an expert. But guess what? As opposed to answering one-on-one with the leaders in your organization, I have a lot of insurance brokers that I work with, right? I also have people that I work with that do individual coaching. I tell them, why do you just answer it to them in an email? Go live. That was the most powerful thing I did. As opposed to answering it one-on-one, I started going live. I started saying, you know what? As a matter of fact, I'm going to answer that for you. Make sure that you send this out, maybe send this out to your leadership, send this out to the real estate brokers you work with, send this out to your people, because I'm going to go live and I'm going to answer this question for all of y'all. Free training on me. And what does it do? It positions you, right? Because this is all about positioning. Customer of the month. Family, I have a real estate agent that I have not worked with yet. She's a good friend of mine now because we've networked. I'm going to share this story with you. Every month, she sends out like a gift all right, like a coffee on me, this, that, and a third. But every month in her group, she shares a win from one of her customers, one of her real estate clients. Doesn't that make me say, wow, she is trusted. She is engaged in what she does. She pays attention. She cares about the people that she services. How many ways can you prove? And I use that word specifically because there are a lot of people that say they do things, but people need you to prove it to them, right? How many ways can you prove that you show up to your people by just doing what you do? And that's really just by sharing a spotlight, right? Right? Spotlight your customers down, family. It's super important. Attention grabbing statistics. One of my people that were in a social media boot camp that I did a month back, maybe 2 months back, finally posted a reel, okay? Posted a reel about identity theft. And it was something about identity theft that I didn't know. It positioned her as an expert. She dropped stats. She talked about things that the rest of the world would probably like, wait, what? That exists? What's spoofing? What's phishing? What is this? Okay. And because of that, when it grabs people's attention, guess what? I don't want to say clickbait, but that's shareable. People want to learn something. People want to be whisked away. People need that hook. Okay. And then another one of our customers, our clients in the boot camp, she posted a reel with an attention grabbing stat, a little bit of comedy, and it went viral. 12,000 shares in maybe 3 hours. Okay. Current events or trends, family, that's very simple. As long as it relates to your industry, share it. You should be going live as much as possible. If it relates to your industry, share it. Make your audience know. Imagine, Jim, imagine Allison, imagine Betty, imagine Vicky, that the person that follows you, you're the only person that they follow on social media. And if you don't share it with them, Renelda, who else will? That's the responsibility that I want you to put on your social media, okay? Motivation and inspiration. I don't want you to be cheesy. When I say motivation and inspiration, I don't want you to tell people, go, 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 go. I want you to be vulnerable. I want you to be transparent. I want you to be real. I remember when I went through spiritual fatigue, I shared that I not only went through spiritual fatigue, but then I shared the steps on how I pulled myself out of spiritual fatigue. That's motivational. That's inspirational, but it's also real, right? People need to know that you're real. And then personal milestones. Believe it or not, people want to clap for you, okay? People want to clap for you, family. Allow them to. And you don't have to brag on you. You could say, you know what? I was able to serve 100 people today. After we get off this live, I'm going to say, you know what? I was able to chat with 45 business owners about ways that they can beef up their social media. And I was just so grateful I could serve. That's still bragging on you, clapping it up for you, but it's still humble, right? And so sometimes we feel like we can't do one and the same, but you can, family. It works simultaneously. So everybody's going to get this, but I don't want you to just look at it surface level. I want you to ask, how is it serving? How is it proving? How is it helping my clientele, not just for themselves, but for the tribe that they serve as well? All right, family, that's my time. I have the opportunity to introduce our next coach. Our next coach is somebody that I absolutely am learning from every single day. Every day, hands down. I'm just really grateful that this gentleman has given me the grace and space to be able to work with him, even within this space of Business Autopilot Summit, right? He's been coaching for some time, top trainer. I've looked at him from afar, and to be able to rub elbows, with him just to get a little skill is such an honor, such a blessing. I have the opportunity to be able to introduce Coach Rob Dunbar. Over to you, Coach.
All right, good stuff. I appreciate it. Going behind the energetic millennial. So what's so great about what she's talking about is that she's not only telling you, oh, this is what you should do. She's telling you why it's important. And this is what we want to do during our business summit. Not say you should do this, you should do that, right? How many people are parents and you learn, right, midway in, right? I've got 3 kids. So the first one, she was practice. The other 2 after that, it got better, right? It got better for the next 2. And what happens is you learn that you can't keep telling your children to do things without explaining to them why they're doing it, because now they feel like they're just being told what to do. So my daughter was a lot more rebellious, right, than my other two, because I learned after the first child, don't just say, don't do this. Tell them the repercussions of why you're saying it so that they understand you're speaking to them on the level of educating them, not just telling them to do something because you're the parent, right? So what I like about what Ariel does is in Ariel's boot camps and her training, she doesn't just say, grow your following on Instagram or on social media, but this is why you should grow it. I don't hear a lot of people talking about the story, right? And so that is very important. So I hope you guys took note there. So speaking of that, last week I talked about filters, but I didn't go into how to filter certain things. So I said to myself, I am going to scratch what I was going to talk about this week, and I am going to talk about how to use filters to be productive. So that's not just something else you know how to do, but it's something you know how to do to move yourself forward in your business. So you want to build upon these things, because in the boot camp, in our summit, I should say, conference, where all of this is going to come together for you guys, and you're going to be like, okay, now I can do this, that, and it will increase your production, because most of us are doing the right things. We're just not doing it in a proper order, or we haven't laid the foundation before we're doing certain things. Some of us want to pick up the phone and make a phone call, but we don't really properly know how to sell, right? Some of us want to prospect, but then when we get a hook, somebody on our line, we don't really know what to say to them. So we always, right, we're doing one thing, but we're missing something else. We're doing one thing, but we're missing something else. So we want you to get it all together. And this is why we brought this many people here. So filters are really important for a lot of different reasons. And I'm going to give you a lot more during the summit, but what I want to do now here today is give you some ideas of how you can use it. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is delete unwanted emails. So how many people are trying to get themselves in that club called Inbox Zero, where you don't have a bunch of emails floating around? Because I'm telling you, you be tiptoeing around your email. Don't tell me, you tell somebody tell you they emailed you something, you be like, man, what email you sent it to? When you sent it, you be trying to narrow it down for you to get in your email. You want to know who sent it, what email they sent it to, what time they sent it, what the subject was. You want to know all that before you even open up your email, because you're trying to go right to that email because you know it's a whole bunch of crap in there. It's like that storage unit or that closet that you throw everything in, and you don't want to go in there and get nothing, because if you open up the door, everything gonna fall out. That's what's happening with y'all's emails. So I'm gonna show you guys how to delete unwanted emails, how to batch delete emails so you can get rid of several hundred at a time, several thousand at a time if you need to. And I'm also going to show you how to allow those emails to be deleted before they even come into your inbox. How many people want to see that, right? Yes or yes, right? Somebody that you don't want to hear from, you don't even see their email come in. I'm telling you, the best thing they could have ever did was create, block, and ignore. I'm telling you, that was something special. When I don't even know you want me, oh Lord, come on now. I don't even know you looking for me. That is like a fantastic way to be able to do things. So I am going to share my screen and show you guys how to do that real quickly. And I'm also going to show you a couple other things. I'm going to show you how to manage those filters so you can go back and manage them if you change your mind on the filter. And I'm going to show you how to keep emails that are important to you out of spam. And I'm going to do all that in 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and get rolling here. All right, so the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is delete unwanted emails, and then I'm going to show you how to do it in the batch sense, right? So if I'm in my inbox and I have an email that comes in, and I know that I get emails from that company a lot of times now I want to. So, and it could be, and I'm going to actually take something like PayPal, because I'm not going to unsubscribe. So sometimes we have emails that we want the emails to come in, right? I want my emails from PayPal because I have affiliate programs where PayPal pays me. I have a PayPal card. People pay me on PayPal for services. So I don't want to unsubscribe from PayPal, and they don't solicit me a lot, but they send a heck of a lot of emails to me. And I don't always want those going in, because what happens is when we let our email control our day, it gets really bad. But when we have our inbox under control and organized, we can have a more productive day, and we're not scared to go into that closet or into that email. Yes or yes? Put a 10 in the chat if you guys follow what I'm saying. So what I'm going to show you here is, so PayPal, I'm going to go ahead and click on this PayPal email, right? And this is an advertisement for them. Now, let me go ahead and set my annotation so you guys can see my button just a little bit better. So you see here where it says unsubscribe. I could simply just click unsubscribe and unsubscribe from PayPal, and that'll be it. But that's not really what I'm looking to do. I don't want to unsubscribe. I just don't want all of these emails that's filled up in my inbox. And I may say, hey, I don't want those emails in the future, but I don't want to unsubscribe in that way, right? Meaning that I don't want them to never send me an email. I just want to control when I'm able to see it, or if I want them to stop right now. I can do all of that through here. So now I'm I'm in that email. I'm going to go right up here to these three dots that says more, and I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to go to filter messages like these. And when I click on that, it's going to open up this little box. And it's saying, right? And if you guys, y'all see behind the dialog box, put 11 in the chat. If you see behind the dialog box, Google Gmail has pulled up all of PayPal's emails, right? And it's going to be pages of those emails that came from the same email. So it is now identified emails like that. So I can put to here if I want to. I can put subject here if I want to. I can put things in here to even niche down more what I want, but I don't really need to, because I know it knows where the email came from. It's not a trick email, so they're all coming from the same email, and I know that. So because I know that it's identified the email, I'm now going to create a filter to say, hey, Gmail, this is what I want you to do with the email. So you got to take control of your email. You can't let email do what it wants to do. You have to have it do what you want it to do. So you're going to click create filter. And now these are all things that I can control what happens with this email. So I may say delete it, right? That's me deleting the email. But what if I want to batch delete, right? So somebody put inside the chat, right, how many emails you see on my left-hand side under inbox. 110,362 emails, right? Don't make me start talking in tongues. 110,362 emails. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to batch delete. Now, how am I going to batch delete? If I wanted to delete just one email, I would just say delete it, right? And delete emails as they come in. So when I hit delete it, I've pulled up emails of this type. So what the message that I'm sending in Gmail is, from now on, when an email comes from this company, just go ahead and delete it automatically. If I wanted to just skip my inbox, I would go to skip my inbox. And I can click it there, or, well, it's not letting me skip the inbox, archive it. I can style it. I can apply it to a label. I can do anything I want here, right? But I'm just going to go to delete it. But if I want to batch delete it, meaning I want to delete all of them in my system, I'm going to go down below and I'm going to go to also apply filter to matching conversations. Now I'm creating a batch delete. So you see it says 110,362. It was 62, now it's 63 because I must have gotten an email. I'm going to click this to apply the filters to matching conversations. And then I'm going to click create filter. All right, so it took some time to do it, but look on the left-hand side now. How many emails do you see? 110,246. You see that? So I deleted over 100 emails at one time, right? I deleted 100 emails at one time when I did that. So that's what I call batch deleting. And I can do that for any email that comes in from any specific thing, right? So the same thing, right? All of Ray Higdon emails, I'll read his emails as they come in for specific things that I'm doing with him, right? So now I'm going to go to his email and I'm going to say, for the Ray Higdon email, I'm going to create a filter messages like these. All Ray Higdon emails, 110,245 in total. I'm going to click create filter, right? And I'm going to just delete. Now, I'm not going to stop them from coming in general. I'm just going to delete it. And then I'm going to say apply to matching conversations. And I'm going to click create filter. And then you'll see my emails on the left drop down from 110,245 to 109,946. You guys see that? Put a 13 in the chat. I call that batch deleting because I'm deleting all these emails at once instead of me going to my search bar and finding emails from different companies and then trying to delete them like that. I can do it right in my system that way and batch delete. So hopefully that's helpful to everybody. So let's talk about keeping emails out of the spam, right? So maybe it's emails that you don't want to go to spam. So for instance, Kajabi is my system. This is my system that I use. So I don't necessarily want those to ever go to spam, but they will sometimes, right? Because it's from a marketing platform. So I can go to Kajabi, go inside that email that I received, and I can click these three dots again, and then I can click filter messages like these, and it's going to load messages like that. So if you look at my background, right, and if you look all the way to the right, it's showing different dates that these came in, but it's pulling up all emails that are similar to the one I clicked on. Now I can go here and say create filter. And now I can say never send it to spam. Never send it to spam. And then I can click create filter. And what's going to happen is those emails won't ever go into spam. So if you're getting emails from if you're an Aflac agent, Medicare agent, financial services, a representative, if you're in Legal Shield, if you're saying, man, my emails go to spam all the time, I have to find this email in spam that I'm looking for, go to an email from that company, click on it, and then make it so that none of those emails will go to spam again. That's how you prevent emails that you're concerned about seeing not going to spam. Keep that from happening for you in the future so that you'll know where those emails are. Now I'm going to show you before I close out how to manage those filters. So as you create more filters here, like I just showed you, they're going to be in your system. So if I click the settings button up here and then go to see all settings, I can now go up here across the top. It's got general, labels, inbox, accounts and import, filters and blocked addresses. I can click on this and every filter that I've created will be there. So these are all filters that I've created at some point. Or I've blocked these people, right? So you see what it says here? The following email addresses are blocked. So that lets me know that I've blocked all these emails. And if I decide that I want to bring those back up, I can just click unblock. I apologize if somebody is on here and your name's on here. I know I didn't block it there, y'all. All you have to do is click unblock, and then you can unblock that person when that happens. But let me go back up here to where the filters are at. Let's say you filter something a certain way, and you're saying, I kind of want to change that now. I don't necessarily want those filters to be in place that way. All I have to do is go here and either delete the filter altogether, or if I just want to change that filter, I can click edit, and then click continue, and it'll open back up that dialog box where I click certain things, and then I can change those settings in here to refilter it a different way, and then I can click update filter. And now my filter is been updated the way I want. So filters are how you're going to control what goes in, what comes in, where it goes. If you want them to go to a specific folder, and I'm gonna do one more thing real quickly here, guys. Give me about 30 seconds before I turn it over to Mr. Branch. Because we talked about this last week too, a little bit, but I know some of you guys may have not been on. If I have a specific email, so let's take Meza, right? I'm gonna click on Meza, community activity. So what this is this is the community that I live in. So if I say, okay, I want these emails to go into a specific place because this is my neighborhood emails, it's letting me know whether there's anything needing to be fixed, whether there's been an issue in our community, whatever's going on in our community, we get a daily email from our community that says this is what's happening where you live. So I can simply go here, click, go filter the messages like these, right? And now I can say has the words Meza in there. And now I can say create filter. And I can say apply label. I want to apply a label. which is a folder in Gmail. So just keep in mind, your label is your folder. This is a folder that you're keeping stuff in. So I can click there, and then I can choose a label, or I can create a label, right? So I may already have a label here for that, which I probably do. Go down here and see. Okay, I don't see a label for it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a new label, and I'm going to say Meza, and then I'm gonna click create. So by me doing that, by me creating that folder for Meza, and I can also say, also apply this filter to matching conversations. What is that going to do? That is going to take all the conversations that have already previously come to me through this email. It is going to put all of those inside the folder. And now any email that comes in from now on is going to go inside that folder. So guys, that's automation where your emails come in and go to a different place. It's like Tetris. It comes in, it goes where you want. Now you're checking folders and inboxes, not looking at a vast area of emails coming in and figuring out what's going to be important. So if I click also apply to matching conversations and then create filter, now I'll put all of those inside a folder that will be over here on my left-hand side that I can click on when I need to go to it for something. All right, so now I have it over here. And once I refresh my computer, that where it says Meza, that will show how many emails went in there once I refreshed it. All right, so that is it for me. I'm gonna stop my share screen. Hopefully you guys were able to get something out of that on how you could use your information. I mean, use your control your email so that you know what's coming in, how it's coming in, and where you want it to go, even if it's in automation. So guys, we always want to close out our sessions with some mindset. I always like to start with mindset and end with mindset if I can, but either start or end if I only have one opportunity. So of course, we've got our mental health man with us today, Mr. HB Branch. And man, I'm telling you, I got such a great response on the email that you sent, that you created for the week that you missed. You created that video. I sent it out, got a good response on that video. People were like, that is exactly what I needed to hear. Everybody wanted to know, right, to be present, right? To be present in whatever you're working on. So that really went a long way with people. So thanks for that video. Tonight, Harold Branch is going to close out our coaching and training tonight with his subject, which is you are what you accept. You are what you accept. So for those that don't know HB, you've been missing a lot. This guy has been speaking and training for over a decade, and a well-educated, really friendly guy, always exciting, right? Good stuff. And look, the apple don't fall far from the tree. He's got 2 gifted children, so I don't know if gifted skips a generation, but it don't seem like it did with him. Right? It don't seem like it did with him. So he's been doing great education-wise. His kids are doing great as well. So I'm going to turn it over to my good friend, my business partner, Mr. HB Harold Branch.
Without a doubt. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. And it depends on who you talk to about that skip a generation thing. I guess it depends on who you ask, right? But anyway, it is a pleasure to be here, just to come behind once again, Brother Robert, Sister Ariel, just every time. I mean, you're so helpful to me. I appreciate that. And of course, Sharon, that's big sis right there, always bringing great information and just helping us really move this thing forward. And I'm really glad that I get to contribute in the way that I am, in the way that I can, in terms of self-care, modeling your life, setting your life up the way you want it to be. I am a absolutely firm believer that we architect our own life. We get to construct it. We get to decide. And the only time someone else is completely in control of things is when we give that control over, right? We give control over, and then sometimes we behave as though something is being done to us. And I'm talking about in our immediate lives. I'm not even talking about societal things or anything from that nature, just in our everyday. So often we blame, oh my God, these kids got me woe out. This man, this woman getting on my nerves. You know, everybody on your nerves. If everybody on your nerves, maybe you need to trade those nerves in and get some more nerves, because everybody shouldn't be on them. Or maybe you are around the wrong people, but if you are a majority around the wrong people, then there's a good chance you are wrong people and you're attracting your people. So everything we talk about is about honesty, and honesty is where everything begins. And if you're not willing to be honest with yourself, then you'll never build what it is that you're truly looking to build, because you got too big of a blind spot. So what we're talking about today, and what I want to touch on in this short period of time that we have as we gear up for next week, oh my God, I can't wait to get more time with you all. We are going to tear the roof off of this thing. You're going to want to send more money after the event. I'm just throwing that out there. You're going to feel like you're cheating us. You're going to take up a prayer offering or something. You're going to feel some kind of way about all the value that we're going to bring to the table. It's really going to be a blessing. And you're going to be able to say, man, I was able to see these cats, you know, at this stage in the journey. I was able to see them when it was only so-and-so, and we're like on a personal Zoom, when other people at that point can only see us in the room with thousands of people in an audience. You're going to be able to say you had that intimate interaction, because it all starts somewhere. Somebody had that intimate interaction with E.T. Somebody had that intimate interaction with Jim Rohn right before he went world class, right? So anyway, let me get going. You are what you accept. You are what you accept. Your standards will determine your life. Your standards will determine your life. If you don't make a decision, and this may be the first note, or maybe the third or what have you, but definitely I invite you to remember this part. This is an important part. If whatever decisions you don't make for yourself, someone will make those decisions for you, and they will not have your best interests at heart. Whatever decisions you don't make for yourself, someone else will make those decisions for you, and there's a good chance that they won't have your best interests at heart. They're going to be self-motivated, which is normal, right? You can't even be mad at them. If you're willing to apply for a puppet position, don't be surprised when someone is available to pull your strings. If that is the job that you're applying for, don't be mad when you get it. I talk to folks in dating and relationships and all of that, and I have to let them know, you get what people buy what you advertise. So the question is, what are you advertising? And I'm not talking about in business, I'm talking about in life in general. If when you're out and about, and let's just say you're in the dating world, and all of your pictures are of you with money, or in front of cars, or in front of houses, and that's really all it's just about, you know, this lavish lifestyle that you may or may not truly have. You may be working towards it. Whatever the case may be, don't be surprised when it's your money that people are attracted to. That's what you advertise. There's nothing wrong with them. They bought what you was selling. Same thing if all of your if every picture is in a bikini, every picture. I mean, you'll be proud of yourself, do your thing. We go to the beach, don't throw a coat on. I get that. But every picture, don't be shocked when no one is asking your opinion on quantum physics, right? They're buying what you're advertising. So when we talk about what you accept, we're going to talk about what are you accepting for yourself, from others, and then from the world, right? From yourself, from others, and then from the world. Now, when we talk about yourselves, what are your standards for you? So if you have children, then you know for a good period of time, especially if you got boys, they may not care as much about how they look when they leave the house. Is that a fair statement? Right? You got to tell them, those don't match, son. Change the shirt and the pants, baby girl, you know, whatever the case may be. And then they hit a particular age where they do start to care. How are you leaving your house? How are you hopping on Zooms? What do you look like when you're going out? Now, I'm not saying spend a ton of time and energy when you're going to the grocery store. You can have a baseball cap and some sweats on, but wash your face, right? What's your standards? What's your standards? Is crust in your eye? Did you brush your teeth first thing in the morning, or you out here buzzing? You know what I mean? These are standards for yourself. No one has to convince me to care and be aware of things like hygiene, of things like my health. We know what we look like in our premium state. We know when we're at what they call fighting, right? Fighting position or fighting health or what have you. We know what that is. No one can tell you what that is. You know how you felt and where you were physically when you felt your best, when you had the most energy, when you were confident, you walked in a room and you felt like you're shaking hands with the best, right? I know these ain't necessarily popular combos, but this is important. You deserve honesty, right? So when you were at your best, why are we talking about that in the past tense? Why are we working to get back to that same place, if not better, right? I lift more weight now than I did at 20 years old, than I did at 20. Why not work on that? Why not work on that? Why not work to be your best in all areas? So what are you accepting for yourself? What are you accepting for your home? I tell my kids, once again, I teach them all the time, hey, how you look, that's a representation of how you feel about you. That's a great representation of how you feel. Well, I just don't care about, hey, iron your shirt. We're professionals, right? I see you long before I hear you talk. And what I see may affect what I hear. Once again, be you, have your style. I'm an artist. I'm all over the place. But you could do everything in a way that shows self-love. Everything from tattoos to, right, there's nothing that you can't do. Your natural hair, baby, rock your natural hair. But do it in a way that is very clear you love it, not it's haphazard. Is that okay, everybody? Does that make sense? I'm gonna be like everybody else. Put a 5 in the chat if you appreciate what I'm saying. I'm trying to get used to that, Ms. Ariel. Thank you. You're teaching me right now. I'm trying to grow as a human being, okay? What does your home look like? Do you only clean your home when someone is gonna come over? Some of us only really get busy when we know somebody's on the way. What that is telling your subconscious is that other people are more important than you. I can live in an environment that I don't want other people to see me live in. Now, I'm not saying you just busy and things are thrown, you know, everywhere. It's a difference between messy and nasty. It's a difference between clear, right? Are these popular conversations? Probably not. But I promise you, if you left something sticky on the counter for days and days and days, I don't expect you to go out and make 30 sales. I don't expect it. It's a representation of I walk in, I'm like, oh, I can't do that, right? And if you pick it up, so that's just some examples of what are you accepting from you? What kind of talk are you accepting from you? When you're being negative and you know you're being negative, man, you know you are leaning in. You are leaning into the negativity. Do you stop yourself when you recognize what you're doing? Because I know you recognize what you're doing because you've been on these calls. So you have awareness. The question is, do you have the strength to dive in and intervene, to say out loud, you know what? I'm being negative. It probably ain't even that bad. Let me chill out. There's no point in worrying about most things because 90% of the things you worry about never come to pass. So you worried for nothing. And if it is going to happen, I promise you, you have all the time in the world to worry once it goes down. Once you're sure. Nobody's going to stop you from being angry or pissed or, you know, I've been dealing with something with a family member who's always expecting the bad thing. And her philosophy is, I go off first at the thought of the bad thing happening. And then if it doesn't happen, I get to come back and be like, I was wrong. Still don't say sorry, but I was wrong. But let me go off at the thought first. But guess what, family? You can't unring a bell. You can't unring a bell. So what's your attitude? What are you accepting for your own thoughts, for your own ideas? Are you only good to yourself in front of people? Are you good to yourself after? Right? These last couple of weeks, I've had so much going on. I've spaced emails. I've done all kinds of stuff. And guess what? I give myself grace and forgive myself. And hopefully those individuals that I end up talking to, they will forgive me as well, right? But it was something that needed to happen for self-care. Are you willing to commit to your own self-care, sometimes at the disappointment of others? I am, because then I could be there for them in the long run. Does that make sense? What about others? What are you accepting from others, right? How are you being treated? How are you being treated? You should not accept mistreatment, disrespect from anyone on the planet. There is no one on the planet who gets to treat you like you are not valuable. No one on the planet. Now, if you're behaving a certain way and they have to meet you where you are, that's different. That means you're being a jerk and they're meeting you at jerk level. I'm not about to assume you're innocent here. You may be the one that's struggling because you know everything. So you're telling people how to live their life, how to, right? Be careful not to become the very thing you're trying to get away from. And don't be so focused on others, you can't identify the fact that this is actually you. Right? So I want you to receive all of that message there. Okay. So how are you being treated by other people? Because you're afraid of having a strong conversation. That's the thing about strong conversations. Once you verbalize, this person really doesn't treat me right, you're telling yourself, now I got to do something about it. That's why, how many of you put a 3 in the chat if you have ever avoided a conversation because you knew you would have to act on it once you had it and you wasn't ready to act? I need you to be courageous and act. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Especially for those of us of a certain age. I need you to really have the conversation. Look, I had to have a conversation with someone and I said, I can't control how you act, what you say. I will never even try to control another adult. However, I can determine how I'm treated and how I'm talked to. The only power I have in this relationship is the power to disengage. So you do however you want to behave, but what I'm telling you, I'm not asking you to do anything, but our relationship is important enough for me to give you a heads up that if this behavior continues, if you ever talk to me like that again, you will never speak to me again. I will disengage, and we will have as minimal amount of contact as possible, because at that point, I can't trust you. And at that point, you're telling me your feelings or your ideas or your opinions that you may forget in a week are more important than my feelings and our relationship. And if it's more important than our relationship, I release you. Another great line I had to use. And this was the case. Everybody in my life was treating me in a great way. I'm really well known for having a solid circle. Like I just don't have people around me treating me bad, talking to me crazy. I have a really awesome circle, because from a mental health perspective and from my own tendencies, right? I know me. So I know I could slide into depression if I'm not careful. So I got to regulate who I got in my environment so I don't slide into a depressive state. But it was still one person that I didn't like how they treated me. And I finally said, look, you know what? I was scared for that relationship to totally change, for them to go off the reservation. Because the thing about these conversations is that it may be your last conversation. You have to be ready for however they respond. They may say, you know what? Forget it then. Bye. And you got to be ready for that. And you got to be okay with that. Just like in order to actually have a solid relationship and find a partner, right, in your later years, in, growing up 30 plus, 35 and beyond, that the only way to do that is to be okay with finding no one. The only way to do that is to be at peace alone, because then you won't accept anything. You're not moving out of desperation. And when you do that, what you want will show up. It's amazing how that works. Anyway, and so what I said was, I just want you to know there's no one in my life who treats me or talks to me the way you do. You're literally the only one in my life that does that. And I'm ready to balance those books. I want to know what it feels like to have no one in my life that treats me this way. I would love to keep you. I would love to engage with you. I would love to have you. Tell me what I have to do so that you feel safe enough to treat me the way I want to be treated. That's good. You may be setting up an environment that makes them hostile. You may not be absolved of responsibility. Tell me what I can do. Anytime you want someone to do something, how can I support that? How can I create an environment where you feel safe enough to tell me the truth? Maybe when you told me the truth, I overreacted, so now you're afraid to do it. The truth is a double responsibility. All right, sorry. Okay. I get excited. I need to keep going. How is your time treated? Does somebody blow your time off? Does someone not care that you're busy? Come and do this anyway. Or do they say, you know what, you're busy. I know it. I don't want to bother you. That's someone that honors your time. When you say you have to go, they let you go. They sum it up. How are people respecting your time? And how are you being spoken to? We talked about that a little bit already, right? It shall always, anger is no excuse for bad behavior. Emotion is no excuse for poor behavior. We're all adults and we're responsible for who we are 24 hours of the day. There are people in jail who had 10 minutes of emotion and they're in jail for 10 years. So you may destroy a relationship with 10 minutes of upset. So know that, regulate that. When you're thinking about your relationships, know that you're also talking about family. You're also, blood is no excuse to accept poor treatment. Neither is time. We've been friends for so long. Time to change the game. Time to change the game. Own your part of it, and then it's time to move forward and see if they want to come with you. You're never leaving anyone behind. You're asking them to come with you, and they decide to stay. We don't leave anybody. They're choosing to stay. That is not our fault. That is not our fault. Okay? And consider, how long is the relationship you're talking about? If this is somebody you're just doing one business engagement with, they could be a terrible person. You ain't never gonna see them again. I'm not interviewing the person when I go buy some jeans at the cash register. That's gonna be a transactional short. I'm in it. I don't know who that is. I don't know what they got going on. They may be, off the wall. Don't matter. How long is the relationship? Is it just a professor? My professor doesn't have to change to my whims. They just got to treat me with respect. But they could be weird and off the rails a little bit. How long is the relationship? Is it someone you're trying to have a long business relationship with? Is it a life partner? Is it a business partner? Me and Robert Dunbar, we got to know, we connected on a deeper level before we decided to do business with each other, because I move a certain way and I need to know that he's within those philosophies. Because it's easier to not start a relationship than to try to fix it after you're in. And then lastly, the world. What are you accepting from the world? What results are you accepting and okay with? What results are you just really okay with, right? Are you accepting the negativity? Are you accepting everything you see on social media? We talk a lot about social media, and I gotta be honest, it's a struggle for me, because to get the riches of social media, I gotta go through the haunted house and avoid the doors of negativity, depression, the news, and all these different things. So it's a struggle for me. So I gotta dive in and dive out. And it's weird. I'm still trying to find that rhythm and that safe space so that I can maximize this beautiful thing called social media. But what are you absorbing? What are you absorbing? Look, all the social issues you think are out there. Politics are absolutely crazy right now. Racism, people are more bold than they've ever been before. Sexism has never gone away. People are being minimized. Look, all of these things, the economics, trust me, you are affected by what's going on socially when it comes to economics. You can only do so much personal development, right? That's not going to affect if a racist banker is going to give you a higher interest rate, and that's going to affect. So let's not pretend like these entities do not exist. I hate when that's the case. And then you overbeat yourself up when you're really running a marathon, and some of us got more hurdles than others. Some of us got all kind of broken glass on the field and we can't even get new shoes. I get it. But we can still win. That's why we don't focus on that. We focus on the treasure and the prize. Do I know racism is here? Absolutely. Did somebody at the grocery store at some point give me a dirty look? Absolutely. But I also walked past 100 people that didn't, and 25 that smiled. I only remember the frown. What are you focusing on? And when you shift your focus, you will find that there is more love than hate, that there is more positivity than negativity, that there's more mutual respect. Even if it's just do you, I do me, there's more mutual respect than anything else. The problem is hate recruits and love doesn't. Hate recruits and love doesn't. We hate loudly. We love quietly. So I need you to know the facts, not the anecdotes. The facts is the world is way less violent than it was. Violence is down. People are doing better. There's less people in poverty from a percentage standpoint globally than ever before. There are beautiful things out here right now. What are you focusing on? What are you accepting from the world? I cannot accept that this world hates me. I'm goddamn awesome. I am incredible. There's no way there's entire groups of people who hate me. There are three, quit talking about haters. There are three types of people in this world. People who love me, people who don't know me yet, and people that's confused about their emotions. If someone meets me and hate me, they just don't know no better. They still working on that, right? They're still working on that. Family, when you think of all these different things, and when you think of what you're accepting from yourself, what you're accepting from others, and what you're accepting from the world, you have to ask yourself, am I okay with this? Am I okay with it? One of the things I learned running the state of Arizona for 7.5 years in Legal Shield and just really leading really large groups, people would ask, and I would have to be in charge of putting things in place for these large groups. One of the things I learned, only say okay to something that will be okay if it's done 10 times more than what they're asking. So any ask, multiply it by 10 and say, is it okay? Well, they just yell at me sometime. Okay, times that by 10, would that be okay? No, then you should shut it down at 1. Catch it before it becomes a problem. Catch it before it becomes a problem. The most successful people in this world are these people who can predict the problems. Can you predict the problem? Not just solve them when they show, can you predict them? The Art of War, Sun Tzu said, the best fought war is the one that doesn't get fought. Can you handle it early? Family, what are you, what you accept, and this is the last thought, and this sums it all up. What you accept is what you're telling yourself it's okay to live with, and it's what you deserve. What you accept, you're telling yourself that's what you deserve. I don't care about the affirmations. I don't care what we say to friends. I don't say any of that. Your actions speak so loud, I can't hear what you say. If you want to tell me, make me know that you love yourself, then only accept the treatment that manifests love. Even when people correct me, they do it with love. Even when I got to be checked, they do it with honor. They meet me, even if it has to be aggressive, it's lovely aggression. I hope that was helpful. You guys are great. Obviously, can't wait to talk to you a whole lot more. Can't wait for our conference. Can't wait to get into the Q&A. I love Q&As more than anything because I am all over. I'm bouncing around as the mad scientist in my mind. So thank you all for allowing me to take 10 plus minutes. I took Miss Larry's time. She went fast, so I took her extra time. So that's how I'm justifying my poor behavior. Okay, excellent. Lastly, do not reward bad behavior. That's how you start. Don't reward bad behavior. Somebody act crazy, you pull back, you don't give. You start the subtraction process. Do not reward bad behavior. People will always do what's rewarded, not what's right. They will do what's rewarded. That's why likes on social media get so much negative likes get so much because they did it once and they got more likes than the positive. So they kept doing it. Even people who, the definition of a troll is somebody that don't actually feel the way that they're talking. That's why they're a troll. Trolls hide. They hide under bridges and pretend to be something else. That's a troll. All right, sorry. I read children's books, Mr. Dunbar. I apologize. I'm muting this right now because I could go into, I grew up in a Baptist church. So, you know, I close out 4 times before I actually close. And if I could borrow your napkin, I would have hit it like this and had a glass of water. Not water.
I'm looking.
Water.
I'm looking for my church fan, the little one with the stick.
With Dr. King on it. Yeah.
I'm like, where's the pew in front of me so I can grab the fan out of there? And,
you know, you got to close your hand like this. You got to do the half circle. It's a whole thing.
Oh my goodness.
I took Coach. It was the I took Coach Oh my God.
Hold on, say that again, sister. You froze.
I said it's when I laughed when you said I took Coach Larry's time. Like, Lord HB.
She always looking out for your brother.
Oh my God. I was like, oh, let me say something to Hero. And I was like, man, these people ain't gonna cancel me. You need to look at that chat. I won't go, man, listen, you could have went for another hour. I wasn't gonna say nothing. No, brother, you can't stop that from rolling.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate it. That's what I felt.
Man.
It was an executive decision.
There you go. That's good stuff.
I mean? Thank you.
And we still got 46 people in here. So if somebody was upset, they could have left. There's a red button that say leave. They could have left if they didn't want to be here. So I mean, they obviously stayed because they wanted to be here. I mean, that's all I can say. So if somebody texts me and say y'all ran over the time you said, I'm gonna say you could have left. Because I'm gonna say
bottom line. You could have said this is a dishonor of my time, and I'm not taking it. Whereas everyone else said he's bringing value, so it's actually respectful of the time. So it's all about perspective, and I respect whatever your perspective is.
There you go. So take note. So if we was doing too much here, all y'all had to do was disengage. Like you said, disengage, right? And you could have took your time and done something else. You got a replay. So it's 46 people still here, so we're excited. This has been awesome, guys. So just imagine. So in our whole deal that we're doing, it's going to be broken up during the summit. So there's not gonna, like you see us now going like, Sharon went, then Aria went, then I went, then Harold went. Throughout that conference, we're all going to go behind each other. It's not going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be one person and then somebody else, and then that person's going to come back. So Harold's doing 3 different sections an hour apiece on 3 different topics that he's going to be talking about, right? Ariel's going to be covering several different things in blocks. So she may be doing IG Reels one time. She may be doing, right, what you should be putting in your post. She's going to actually walk you through Instagram. I'm saying this like I know. Just nod your head, Ariel, because I ain't seen her training yet either. I'm just, So when Ariel does her thing, you'll be able. So this is not going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4. Throughout that 4 days, we're going to all take turns and jump in, and we're going to keep it relative where when one person talks about something, the next person is going to keep it kind of in that same space. So even though Sharon talked about today using the computer to talk, guess what? You can do that on Apple. Apple has dictation, and so does Google, and it's still all free. So what she showed you on the Microsoft PC, you can do that with Google Chrome, and you can do it with a MacBook. The same she did it there. It's just different functions to do it, and we'll show you how to do that as well. So you can do it on any kind of computer you want, and it's still free. The dictation software is always free. So you can open up a blank sheet and talk your heart out, and it'll type for you. It'll type for you, guys. So you got to learn how to use automation and AI so that you can build the business. I'm telling you, nowadays, business building is not, I've got 20 employees. It's I've got two virtual assistants in software, and I get the same job done. And it's consistent.
Yeah. First off, I took notes even from today because Coach HB, you brought something up that is a challenge with social media, and it's being able to filter. So family, even during this time frame, being able to adapt and evolve, I'll make sure that we add that, right? How to protect your mental, how to protect your space, because there are things that I do personally that I must train on. And so I'm grateful that you guys brought that up. But also, this is the power of 3 generations, because what we just talked about, even from the perspective of what we accept, what we allow, I pray, and I'm a daughter, right? I am a sister, I'm a friend. And I recognize that even for parents, I challenge us to take what Coach HB said and ask, how are we passing this down to our children, right? Like, how are we honoring them even as they develop and they grow? Because that has been something that has been a conversation, just for full transparency, that my mother and I had to grow through, right? Because we are taught so many things in our community. But I hope that we challenge ourselves to say, how are we talking to our nieces? How are we talking to our nephews? How are we talking to our cousins, how we're talking to our loved ones, and are we showing them our best selves? Because then they go out into the world, constructs, and create paradigms based off of that. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. It's so powerful. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, brother. Just to leave you with something, everyone, don't justify your bad behavior. Don't reward others, but don't justify yours. We have so many reasons. And that's the definition of cognitive dissonance. When we actually complain about things, not recognizing we do that very thing in other areas of our life. We do it with our children a whole lot. We tell them don't accept bad treatment, then we yell at them. Now they're confused. Oh, only accept bad treatment from someone who loves me. Then we wonder why they're in a relationship with someone who yells, right? So just be honest. Look for your own flaws. Don't wait for someone else to point them out, right? Look for your own challenges. When someone complains or says something, and they may be a horrible person, they may not love you at all, but then go ask somebody for verification. You don't have to believe them, but you should check if it feels like it's hitting something. If it makes you mad, if I called you a chair right now, you wouldn't be pissed off about me calling you a chair. Why? Because you know you ain't no chair. Like it would just be weird to you. HB hates everybody. Huh? What? That it wouldn't even register. It only pisses you off when part of you know there's some truth in it. So you can't hear it from that person, which is fine. But this isn't for everybody. These trainings are for the refined. Let me be clear. These trainings are not for those who just want to be regular, like everyone else. This is for the people that want to be not ordinary, but extraordinary. So the standards are raised here. The expectation is much higher here. So I need you to work through that moment of pissed off, talk to someone that you do trust and love, and ask them, do I do this to people? Is this something that I've done? Be honest with me. I won't get upset. I just need to know because I can't see the forest for the trees. I can't see my own face. And I need you to tell me if something's on my face. So just be honest about what you're going through. And then I want you to ponder that tonight, the fact that you have literally never seen your own face.